Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm speaking with Mr. Yogendra Vohra. Today is March 12th, 2015, Thursday. This interview is being conducted in New York. Mr. Vohra, what's your desh? What's your homeland?
My homeland is from Kashmir,
What part of Kashmir?
in Srinagar proper.
Okay,
That's the capital of Jammu and Kashmir state.
okay,
And I was born and brought up there.
okay,
My father and my other grandfather, he moved to Kashmir way back when the state, Jammu and Kashmir state, was under the India was under British rule, and naturally Jammu Kashmir was also a part of it. And most of the time in Kashmir, it has been a one state where Hindus and Muslims, they live very much in harmony.
mm-hmm.
And from the beginning, the king or the Maharaja
Mm-hmm.
was always a Hindu.
Mm-hmm.
Ancestral, one after another, there has been change. But Muslims have been also duly elected to his darbar.
Mm-hmm.
And my father was very active in Hindu Mahasabha and in Hindu politics, and he was also elected by the Hindus from Srinagar to become one of the legislative or one of the representative of Hindus to present their problems before the Maharaja.
Okay,
And every year he will, the Maharaja, that was during that time that Dr. Maharaja Hari Singh
mm-hmm.
was in power, and he was inviting the Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, and all people from Ladakh, Buddhists, they will all come there, and he will create a darbar where all of them,
Parliament, like a parliament.
like a parliament, and they will listen to the problems
Okay.
of different people.
Now tell us, when you grew up, what was your neighborhood like? What neighborhood did you grow up?
My father was actually a judge, and then he resigned and he started his own private practice as a
So where
lawyer
did you live?
in Srinagar.
And
The
what?
first bridge, they call it Amira Kadam.
Okay.
That's the main city, main bridge.
Okay.
And we had a very, very old ancestral home. My grandfather was very poor, he was not educated. But my father was fully educated, and he had uh, 4 brothers besides himself and 1 sister.
Mhm.
And my father, he had no means to get education in Kashmir, so after he graduated from high school,
Mm.
he went to Lahore
Okay.
and did his law from Lahore back during those
Okay.
days.
But what about your neighborhood? How was the
The
neighborhood?
neighborhood was mostly Muslims.
Muslims.
We were all
So-
over crowded by Muslims.
Okay. So was your house what kind of house? Was it a brick house, wooden house?
It's a view. It's the old house, which is no more there,
Why?
was
Why is it not there?
because the neighborhood was such that there was problems going on.
What kind of problem?
Like there was sometimes there were riots, friction between
Riots means
Riots.
religious clashes.
yes, and then my father decided to leave his office at that place, which was almost about 10 floors on each side, and built another house on the same spot and put his office in his basement on first floor, and then after some time we kept living there. I grew up there in that neighborhood.
So
with
did you go to
Muslims.
school there?
I did my
What
school
school?
from the DAV High School.
DAV.
Right.
And what's the full name?
The Dayanand Ayurvedic High School.
Anglo. And so up to high school you went there?
No, no. And then I grew up there, but I, at the age of, I think about third or fourth grade, my father decided to send me to Gurukul.
Where was it?
And it was Gurukul Gujranwala, that's in Pakistan.
Okay.
So I went there, Gujranwala, and I was there for almost 3 years.
Okay.
And there was some accident and I fell down. And my father decided me not to send me back.
Okay.
And I came back to Kashmir, and then by that time I was in high school and I finished my high school, went to college, SP College.
What's
That's called the C. Pratap College,
okay? It's also Srinagar.
Srinagar.
How did you used to go to school?
On a bicycle or
Bicycle.
sometime walking.
What about the DAV school?
DAV school also we walking.
Were you walking?
Because
Was it
small
a mixed
town.
school? Hindu Muslims went there?
Mostly the school was Hindu school because it was Dayanand
Okay.
Ayurvedic High School.
Okay.
So most of the Hindus and Kashmiri Pandits were the teachers.
So what they are school is the school still there?
It's still there. It's still there. It's still there, and now they've also grown. At the time when I started, probably there must not be more than 1,000 kids up to high school, and now there are almost about 10,000 kids in that school.
So, but now is it not mixed? That is Muslims and Hindus both? Because how many Hindus are there?
Yeah, there are Muslims also there, but not many, because the majority of the kids they go to Islamic school.
Okay.
rather
What about?
than-
But isn't it true that most of the Hindus from Kashmir, Srinagar fled to other places?
Yes, they were. In fact, they were forced to fled because of the fact that they were feeling very insecure.
So how could school continue if there were
Okay.
no students?
Okay, now by the time I grew up, since I was born and brought up in an atmosphere where Hindus and Muslims, so we were living a very cordial. My father was a very popular with the Muslims also, and all his friends were Muslims. And after I finished my high school, I went to that college, SP College, Pratap College, then Amar Singh College. There is another Hindu
Okay.
Indian college, and then from there I went to Aligarh Muslim University.
Oh, you went from Hindu school. You went to Aligarh Muslim.
Yeah,
Okay.
Aligarh Muslim University in
Uttar Pradesh.
Uttar Pradesh, Aligarh Muslim University.
Okay.
And there I did my engineering in electrical, and by the time I had finished my college, I got an opportunity to come to America
Okay.
to do my masters, because
Which year did you come?
that was in 1959, 60.
Okay. So very quite early.
Quite.
So going back, what was your parents' name?
Satyapal Vohra,
Satyapal Vohra, and your mother?
Ishwar Devi.
Ishwar Devi, was she also working outside, or
No,
she was
she was a housewife because
Okay.
she had,
What happened to
6
your-
children.
So what happened to your uncles and others who were living in that place? What
Yeah,
happened to your house?
all my father brought them up. My father worked very hard while he was in Lahore. Sorry, he was also doing this teaching in schools, and his other 3 brothers, he also got them law degree, and they all moved to different parts of Kashmir. One went to Muzaffarabad, another went to Baramulla, is a suburb of Srinagar, another was in Jammu, and another was in.
So are they still in those places, Muzaffarabad?
No, they all had to fled away because of the Pakistan occupied Kashmir.
So Muzaffarabad is the capital. So did he flee or did he stay back?
No, he fled
Fled?
because the Pakistan attacked, and so they fled with nothing in hand, and they came to us in Srinagar.
Okay.
And my uncle also from Baramulla, which is now with India, they also fled and came to Srinagar. From there, they became refugees,
Why?
got displaced, and left. All of them left for Delhi.
So they all fled the
Fled from Kashmir, from Baramulla, Kashmir.
So what happened what happened to your ancestral property?
Yeah, my father he was very fond of buying property, a lot of property he had there. So he did not want to leave Hindus in that condition, and so he left. He told my uncles to go and leave, and he will not leave till such time that all Hindus migrate and move from Srinagar to Delhi or India. By this time, the Maharaja fled away.
Maharaja
He ran away because of the fact that he was crowded, surrounded by Muslims who had forced him to leave Kashmir, Srinagar, and fled away. Once he fled away, the Muslim took over all the regime of Hindus, and they started killing Hindus.
Really?
And then Pakistan in the meantime kept on reinforcing them, and they attacked the Srinagar. It was lucky for us that Sir Vallabhbhai Patel sent the Air Force. Otherwise, the next day they were supposed to come and do prayers on Friday in Srinagar. And then they pushed them back up to Muzaffarabad.
Yeah.
And then our father wanted us to leave. Then we fled, and the last few Hindus were left. And when Air Force and Army took over Srinagar, then our father sent us to, when we were as refugees for
We're talking 48 or you were talking later?
48.
48. So,
And we fled, and we were in Birla Temple as refugees
in Delhi.
in Delhi.
But did you ever go back to your ancestral property?
Yes, we
ancestral home?
we did.
So what happened what was the situation like when you went back?
Well,
How did you flee, first of all?
well, first thing is that our ancestral property was taken over by Muslims,
Okay.
mostly. So
Free of charge? Did they pay you anything?
no, they just
What about Jammu and Kashmir government?
no, they didn't pay anything. But we still have our new house, which the father had built just few years before the partition, which was a koti in Wazirabad, Gogji Bagh, which was again a Hindu locality, and a lot of Hindus were all together. So that house also we had to leave, and we left one of our workers. He was a Sardar Singh, who was sick,
Okay.
and his mother used to work for us, for my father. We left the house with him, and we fled away to India, to Delhi.
Okay.
And then later on, when we went back, we still had that house.
Okay.
So my mother kept, in the meantime my father died in 1980. And my mother kept going to Srinagar. She will go to live in the house with this young man and his family.
Okay.
And he was a teacher, he had one hand. And come back and live with us. My brother by the time had settled in Delhi. And I also had moved from there to America with my another brother who had already gone to USA.
Okay. So
But then that house, we kept it for a long time, but then slowly and slowly the Muslims took over the complete neighborhood from Kashmiri Pandits who fled and occupied them. So then we had no alternative but to sell it at a forced cost, which was just offered to us by a Muslim, and we gave away the house. And we still have property which is a 40 acres of land, which is a almond badamu ka bagh hai, which is a
almond
huge
orchard.
an orchard. It was a very huge orchard, which was being cultivated by a Muslim who was also brought up by my father. And he took over that orchard and got transferred in his name
I see.
by putting walls of signatures and getting mixed up with the Tahsildar, because all Muslims were doing it.
So you lost all your
We lost every asset and everything. But my brother, who is in the Air Force, he was in Jammu and he decided to pursue this case. And after many years, after 10 years, he could go to Kashmir and he pursued, and then finally we got that land not in our name yet, but it is entered in our name, and now we are still waiting for the papers to come forward, because the governor, which is Governor Vohra, who is the governor of Jammu Kashmir, he has told us, we'll help you to get your land back, but so far we have not got the land back.
Okay, but somebody also has to pursue, and then of course you're...
Yeah.
So as this transition happened, you stayed in Birla Mandir.
Yeah, we stayed in Birla
Mandir temple.
And very unfortunate, we lost all our belongings, not only in Kashmir but also while we were in Birla Mandir, because somebody stole our beddings and everything, and then nothing.
So how did your father start his life again?
My father did not come back. He was so persistent, he was so much attached to Srinagar, to Kashmir, that he decided not to leave, and he continued.
But he died
even after.
In 1980.
He died in Kashmir. In Srinagar.
Where did he live then?
He did not leave. He used to come.
No. Where he used to stay? In Srinagar?
In our own house, in my ancestral house, which is Wazir Bagoji Bagh.
Okay, but that was taken over later on, or you sold it at a low price?
No, we sold it later on after he died.
And the other and your mother used to also stay with him?
Used to stay there.
So basically you became...
From 1980 till 1990, my mother kept going between here and Delhi and there, and lived there in that house.
None of her sons showed any interest to
No,
continue?
they could not, because they in the meantime got settled outside Kashmir, because they were displaced.
Yeah. But when you mentioned before sometime that your father had already also had something in what is now Azad Kashmir, in Pakistani Kashmir.
Yes.
What was that? What, did he have a house, or did he have a job? Did he live there?
No, all my brothers and my uncles and also my father bought them land which is, when they fled, everything was taken over by Muslims, and they came, and we could not get that land back, not the houses back. We had another orchard which was in Pahalgam, which is another part of suburb, and we never could locate that land because it was taken over by Muslims.
Okay. So, now, as you know, what happens, why couldn't, it was within India, but even within India, it's a Hindu minority and Muslim majority area in India, there was no way for you to struggle or fight back to live in your own land?
No, because of the fact that the only reason my father and few other Hindus lived there even after the Pakistan attack and everything, that was because of the fact that it's a very peculiar state. Jammu Kashmir is a state where Hindus, Buddhists, Muslims, they used to live in full harmony till Pakistan attacked. So the Buddhists, which they were living in Ladakh and Gilgit, and Hindus living in Jammu, they all got together, and they finally decided that we are going to represent to the Indian government for getting our land and our assets back. But most of the Indians, as far as I'm concerned, the Hindus, they fled. But government of India, I understand, is trying to resettle those Kashmiri Pandits back into Jammu and Srinagar, which most of them were converted to Muslims. They were forced to convert to Muslims.
But then the others who didn't convert, they were also they fell too.
Yeah.
But I mean, those who, if they converted, do you think it would be easy for them to reconvert into Hinduism, or do they want to?
Yeah, they want to, because they're like they say that Ghar Wapsi, they all, Kashmiri Pandits are basically very, very timid people. They are very orthodox, timid, but they can be easily persuaded. So most of them would like to come back, but so far nobody has approached them.
Yeah.
And government has done nothing about this.
But even the people, Hindus who fled and live in refugee camps in Jammu or in Delhi, they have not gone back.
They have, most of them are living in free refugee camps, which the government of India has created in Jammu, not in Srinagar.
Yeah. So,
But they plan to, see, the reason being the Jammu Kashmir state is another reason, because this Article 370 does not give any rights to Indians to buy any land or property in Srinagar, in Jammu, unless you are a citizen of that state.
But you are
born and brought up there.
You are born, Hindus are born and brought up there.
They can.
But on the other hand, they have already sold all their properties, like families like you, who had property, but they have already sold.
No, they did not sell it because they were taken away and they could not get the land.
Sure.
There are still a number of Hindus living in Srinagar. The shops have opened and all those things. A lot of people have returned back, but not in the same sense as it is. They are in few pockets where they are.
So is it possible for Hindus to go back and live a peaceful life, a harmonious life with Muslims in Srinagar?
Yes, it is, provided. See, the reason being this Article 370 prohibits people from India to migrate to
you mean other parts of India?
Other parts of India.
Yes.
Once that Article 370 is removed, which the government of India is trying to remove, then again there will be a cordial relation, Hindus and Muslims, and they will live together. Because Jammu and Srinagar, they are dependent on each other. Jammu is 70% Hindus. Ladakh is 70% Buddhist.
Yes.
And Srinagar has 70%
more,
Muslim.
90%.
Problem is 90% Muslim. But problem is that it becomes so cold and snow for 4 or 5 months. The school, colleges, offices, they move to Jammu, including Maharajas, and the office and everything moves to Jammu. So they are dependent on each other. You cannot live in that place under that condition. It has been like this.
Okay. So I'm just almost coming to an end. But why do you think Muslims in Jammu, within the same state, there are Muslims a minority in Jammu region of Kashmir, they are able to stay, nobody has fled to Srinagar, but Srinagar, which is Muslim majority, Hindus are minority, why have they fled? But not the Muslims.
The reason being that there's a lot of infiltration going on, including in Jammu and Srinagar. Because Jammu and Srinagar, they are all across, there are Muslim borders, the Pakistan borders. They keep on inflating and giving them money to Muslims to create problems so that Indian government cannot find a solution, and that is what the reason. Although the Kashmiris, particularly in Srinagar,
Muslim Kashmiris,
they want that there should be acceded to, and there should be full rights for India become a full merge. But then there are other elements who are terrorists and Muslim who are Maulvis who do not want that.
Okay. I'm just about to end. So is there anything else you like to add? Is there something that I didn't ask you like to add?
I only wish that the government of India, with all its good intentions will do something so that the Hindus have a voice in Jammu and Kashmir.
Okay.
Again, like used to have during Hari Singh time.
Mm-hmm.
And that will help the Hindus to settle down in Jammu and Srinagar.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.